We're not actually. Really? No, we're not joking. We're not Let's go. I told her. Bro, I was actually very. Yes, ma'am. Is that it? Jump. I will look all daddy's watching it. Hi. Acting career 1. Acting career.
You can hear it, bro.
Bro, start.
Bro, wait for the camera. Wait for the camera. Wait for the camera.
I can see her.
I already did.
So she's dead? What? My gosh. Oh, we have to make a plane. Yeah, get away.
No, it's going to
Bring the camera over here.
I'm gonna crash that tomorrow now. I don't want to be crashed. I'll take his video.
Slendy man. Test.
All right, overview. Give you 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's be quiet. Thank you. Awesome. Absolutely great. I appreciate you so much. Of course, we typically hold our Veterans Day ceremony the day before our Veterans Day holiday. But of course, with the Hurricane Nicole, we make adjustments. This is one of my 3 favorite days of the year. You know, the first day of school, Our Veterans Day ceremony, of course, the last day of school is pretty good too. But I am so thankful for our veterans for being here today. Students, the ceremony is not very long. We expect you to be on your best behavior throughout. It's not time to bother someone next to you. It's not time to really cause any kind of disruption. These veterans made a lot of sacrifices for you. You can do this for 15 minutes. Okay, so thank you so much. Please stand, which you already are, but our veterans and guests, will you please stand? While HM1, Kimberly Mullins, Navy retired, Major Dennis Waite, U.S. Marine Corps, and the Gainesville High School Naval Junior ROTC presents the colors, and the OVMS Symphonic Band plays the national anthem.
Present! Go!
Students, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Carry! Cut! Ready! Cut! Mark! Time! Right! Face! Fire! 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 Fire!
Thank you. Thank you again. You guys can give a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you so much, GHS ROTC. Much appreciated. I'm going to remind the guys in the middle here, straight ahead, right underneath the flag. Please be quiet and respectful. I guess your last chance, okay? Thank you. Welcome, veterans and special guests. I want to recognize our OVMS veterans. Deputy Campbell, Navy. Mr. Riley, Coast Guard. Mr. Stanquist, Navy. And Mrs. Sweat, Navy. Once again, thank you so much for being here today. I want you to welcome our SGA member, band librarian, and symphonic band member, Dinah Smith, to introduce our veteran guest speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Armstrong. It is my privilege to now introduce Master Sergeant Mark Clark, today's veteran guest speaker. Master Sergeant Mark Clark entered the Marine Corps after graduating from Newberry High School in June 1985. He trained as a jet mechanic and worked on the F-4 Phantom, a large fighter jet with a top speed of Mach 2.2. In 1986, he was deployed on a West Pacific to Japan, Korea, the Philippines, and Wake Island. In 1989, he entered the reserve component as a corporal. He was called to active duty in support to Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2003 and again in 2005, where he was deployed to Iraq and oversaw supply and logistics for multiple convoy missions. Activated a third time in 2008, he was deployed to Basra, Iraq, where he supported a military transition which taught Iraqis how to support themselves and learn valuable skills of combat. Master Sergeant Mark Clark operated on over 300 convoy missions across Iraq and was a mine-resistant, ambush-protected, or MRAP subject matter expert. He had over 25 years of service, both active and reserve, in the United States Marine Corps, and retired on November 10, 2012. His personal awards include Meritorious Service Medal, Navy Commendation Medal, Navy Achievement Medal with Gold Star, and Combat Action Ribbon. Master Sergeant Clark also currently serves on the Newberry City Commission. Please give a warm welcome to Master Sergeant Mark Clark.
Well, good morning. Before we get started, Mr. Armstrong said 15 minutes, and Miss Lori told me to give an hour and a half speech, so just kidding. So without further ado, I'd like to give you my thoughts in today's speech for what our veterans are and what it means. So I'd like to thank the principal, Mr. Armstrong, and his faculty for inviting me to be your guest speaker today. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, and our distinguished guests, and of course, the students of Oakview Middle School, welcome to this Veterans Day celebration. It is a privilege for me to honor a very special group of Americans today. Before I begin, I would like to ask for our veterans to please stand. Some of you in the back, if you're there, raise your hand. Teachers, raise your hand. Let the kids know who you are. As a retired Marine, I cannot think of a better place to be than right here with you all today and say thank you to our veterans for your service to our great country. Thank you. I'm not here to give you a history class on the origins of Veterans Day. I'm here to tell you what Veterans Day means to me. It's about recognizing ordinary people you see or pass every day who have answered the call to serve their country and ask for nothing in return. It's about those same people that have returned home and continue to make our society better by getting an education, becoming a fireman, a teacher, entrepreneur, police officer, and leaders in our community. They continue to contribute to our American way of life and never giving up on our country's values. It's about recognizing and thanking people like Mr. Joel Russo. Joel's a former Marine who received the Silver Star and 3 Purple Hearts for his actions and courageous and unselfish devotion to duty to the United States Marines' lives during the Vietnam War. Joel returned back to the United States to become a successful businessman and a pillar to the Gainesville and Newberry community. To me, Veterans Day is about recognizing and thanking all of the Vietnam War veterans and their families. They didn't get a warm welcome when they returned home from their deployments like you see with those today returning home from recent deployments. So today we honor all veterans who unselfishly placed their lives on the line for our freedom. Those men and women were ordinary people until they heard the call of duty and they answered it. They left their families, their homes, their lives, not for recognition or fame or even the honor we bestow upon them today. They fought not only to protect our country, to protect the freedoms and liberties of men and women around the world. As we honor our veterans and remember their great deeds, let us also salute those who are currently fighting for our freedom. There is no denying that contributions of our nation's veterans have played a big part in making the United States of America the great country that it is today. And as of this year, we have been celebrating America's veterans with a special day for over 100 years. Veterans Day is set aside to remember every man and woman who is taking up arms to defend our country. We honor every soldier, airman, sailor, Marine, and Coast Guardman who have gave some of the best years of their lives to the service of the United States of America and stood ready to give everything up to and including their life on our behalf. Our nation owes a great debt to its veterans, whose service spans every decade and continues every day of our country's existence. Through untold courage and sacrifice, America's veterans have secured the liberty which the Founding Fathers sought to establish here in the New World. Whenever and wherever the nation is called in times of darkness and in danger, as well as in times of peace and prosperity, Americans' veterans have been there. Veterans have proudly carried the torch of liberty for all to see. This Veterans Day, we continue to fight and defend our freedoms and combat terrorism. This calls for us to honor and celebrate both those veterans whose service is recorded in the history in our past conflicts and recognize our current warriors who add to our nation's rich history every day. They are stationed around the world and standing in harm's way to protect us at this very moment. We are a nation's veteran, a debt we can never repay. We can and should remember them, and they should, and while they are the brave ones, we should honor and remember them. But we must honor them with deeds, not just words. So how do Americans properly thank their veterans this day? It can be simple as thanking a veteran for their service, but that's just the beginning. Americans thank its veteran by living their lives and enjoying America's greatness. Americans thank veterans by taking full advantage of all your rights that they have defended. Before you know it, you'll be adults, and hopefully one of you will be standing where I am today. Vote in every election. Write letters to your editor of your local paper. Volunteer your time for a worthy cause. Fulfill your jury duties. Mentor a child. Represent your country well. Ensure you are registered for the selected service. And yes, at least consider serving your nation in uniform. Live your lives and be good Americans. Then all veterans will be proud to know that their sacrifices were not in vain. This is the thanks Americans can give. And students, always remember, this is your school, so always do what is right, be positive, and be Panther proud. Thank you.
Thank you again, Mr. Clark, for being here. Each branch of the U.S. Armed Forces maintains its own military marching band to inspire troops and preserve tradition. Each service song represents individual histories and traditions of Americans' armed forces. Marches of the Armed Forces is a medley that includes the official songs of all 5 branches of the armed services: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. Kara McAllister will announce each branch of the military as the song is played. Veterans, if able, please stand up and wave to your students, our students, when your service song is played so you can be recognized for your service to our country. Students, please applaud for the veterans as they stand to thank them for their service to our country.
Marines. Army. Coast Guard.
The lyrics to America the Beautiful were written by American songwriter and English teacher Catherine Lee Bates during the summer of 1893 in Colorado Springs. She and the other teachers hired a wagon to ascend nearby Pikes Peak. Though tired from the trip, the view from the top evoked strong emotions that she jotted down in a notebook. She recalled, "It was then and there, as I was looking out over the sea-like expanse of fertile country spreading away so far under those ample skies, that the opening lines of the hymn floated into my mind. This is America the Beautiful, performed by the Oakview Symphonic Band."
At this time, we will have a moment of silence, followed by taps performed by Nathan Wynn and Justin Bradley to remember and honor the soldiers who gave their lives for our country. Thank you. Please welcome SGA member, band librarian, and symphonic band member Liam Bigger for our closing remarks.
On behalf of Oakview Middle School, thank you to all of our veterans for your service and sacrifice. We really appreciate you attending our celebration today. We would like to thank everybody who helped make today possible. Thank you to Master Sergeant Mark Clark for speaking to our students and for your service to our country. Thank you to our veterans and special guests who are in attendance today. Thank you to HM1 Kimberly Mullins, Major Dennis Waite, and the GHS NJ ROTC for presenting the colors today. A special thank you to Mrs. Marlowe, the Student Government Association, and Band Boosters for providing breakfast, and to SGA for decorating and attending to our veterans and guests. Thank you to the Oakview Middle School custodial team and the City of Newberry for setting up today's decorations. Thank you to Mr. Scott for putting together the Veterans Day slideshow. Thank you to Mr. Fournier and his technology students for designing the Veterans Day stickers that everyone is wearing today. Thank you to the OVMS PTO for sponsoring today's program. Thank you to Mrs. Pizer and the Oakview Symphonic Band for working hard to prepare the music for today's program. Students, on Veterans Day, find a veteran and thank him or her for their service to this great nation and for keeping all of us free.
Thank you, Liam. And that does conclude our ceremony this morning. Once again, thank you, veterans, for coming. Thank you for parents who came to support our band. And thank you for Ms. Pizer and the Symphonic Band for their performance today. And Ms. Pizer, always, thank you for your help in organizing this event. Thank you. Teachers, we're going to go ahead and let you walk back to your classes. So teachers, at this time, you guys can go ahead and walk back to your first period class. Today we're on a shortened schedule today. This first block, we are going to return to first period. So teachers, at this time, if you'll go back to your first period, we can start sending kids your way. We will start with our 8th grade classes. If you're 8th grade students, we'll begin walking in the back there. If you'll begin walking back to your class, 8th graders. Looks like